Hi everyone. So here is Moonlight Soul, and here is my dear friend Adrienne Gibson, newly back in the USA, and we're going to
Yeah,
be talking about the new moon in Aquarius. Welcome, Adrienne.
thank you, Mila. Glad to be here. This is exciting times. This will be an exciting moon to talk about. Lots of changes and things, like we were saying earlier, are moving quickly. So I think that alerting people as to the energy so that they can catch things they're going to go by really fast.
Right, like just like we were saying, instant manifestation is a thing these days. It's really a thing.
Yeah,
So absolutely, and we're going to be looking at what are we seeing for the upcoming 6 months, and being in the Pluto in Aquarius season now for until September, really. This is going to be very pivotal new moon.
yeah, yes.
Actually, it is the first new moon with Pluto in Aquarius, because the Leo was a full
That's
moon,
right.
and this is the first moon with all planets direct, because Uranus
It
was still
is.
retrograde.
It is.
So it's a very different energy.
Yeah. Moving that, taking it all forward now.
Absolutely, absolutely. I think it will be very interesting to observe what is going to be manifesting within the next 6 months.
Yeah. So shall I bring up the chart and we should get into it?
Let's do it.
All right. Right. There it is. So the moon will be on in 4 days, right? I don't
Yeah,
even know.
Friday. Friday.
On Friday, yeah. Um and at 5:58 p.m. for Eastern Standard Time. And you just have to adjust for wherever you are in the world.
Yeah. For me, it's 1 hour less because I'm in a central. But for you guys over there in the Europe, it will be, well, depending where you are. For some of you, it might be even the next day. But either way, it is happening. It
Yeah.
is happening for sure.
So, yeah, we have just the last two planets to leave, or closing behind Pluto and leaving Aquarius here very shortly. I mean Capricorn moving into Aquarius, and then it's all moving forward from here.
Right? It's like literally, as we're recording this today on Monday, Mercury just had this conjunction with Pluto, first one of the personal planets.
Right.
And by this point, by the point of the new moon, Mercury is in a new phase conjunction with Pluto, but closing to the sun.
Yeah, this actually, when I was looking at this chart, I was realizing that the Mercury here will be exact on my natal Mercury on Friday. That should be interesting.
Well, they all square in my sun, my sun and my Pluto, and like I was telling you, the new moon is square in my nose. So it's all interesting times from now onwards. But I think this Uranus square in the new moon, being ruled by Uranus, and now direct, this is something to pay attention to.
Yes, a lot of Uranian energy we have here, because this sun and moon are asking us to internally and externally break free of something to be able to clear away some trauma, any limitations that we've gathered over time, and to begin to shine in our true natures. We have to learn how to do that as we move through Aquarius, as Pluto moves through Aquarius. So we're at the beginning, 0 degrees for Pluto. So here we start off and kick it off with a new moon in Aquarius.
Yeah.
Um,
And this is the interesting thing, as we were mentioning previously, for literally a year, with Pluto square in the nodes, and last time it was the Mars-Mercury conjunction square in the nodes, and now it's Venus, and Venus is the ruler of the new moon. ruler of Uranus, and now Venus, the one that tidies up the mess behind everyone, she's the one squaring the nodes, and resolution is her own south node, because south node is in Libra.
Yep.
So Venus here is trying to, in a sense, I would say, bridge the gap between the Libra and the Taurus. The Taurus, who you are, and the Libra, what the society wants you to be.
Wow, yeah, absolutely. Yes, and this is literally the energy of individuation. Who are you really? And what is it that the society has been telling us that we need to be, and who we need to be, and how we need to behave and do all those things. But this is the energy where we're really beginning to separate from that and really begin to come into our heart. I think it was during the full moon that we were talking about. Mercury was in a closing phase to Mars.
Yeah.
I think, and I was realizing after we did the report that it was this closing off of a way of thinking, but literally the Pluto is asking us to do its polarity point, which is come into the heart, Leo. And so I feel like these next few months even will be helping us to move that direction, because it's not something we know how to do that well. We've been taught to think with our minds as to what to do and follow with our minds, and learning to lead with the heart is definitely a different energy, but something that I think will be necessary in the future.
Absolutely, because most of us, because of the traumas that we experience ourselves or being passed on to us through ancestral or collective wounding, we protect that heart. We detach because we don't want to be hurt, which is the Pluto and Scorpio archetype characteristic, which is like we want the connection, but we're too afraid to connect, because what if we die? What if this thing is taken away from us? But as we know, if we don't know what death feels like, we don't know what life feels like either. So I really feel that with this Uranus squaring the new moon, and this is the first quarter square, the crisis in action, which is telling us that something needs to change. And what needs to change is the Venus in Capricorn squaring the nodes, saying that, well, you need to redefine your relationship to yourself, so your relationship towards the whole is changed. And this is from the place that, well, you are empowered, you are your creator of your reality, so what is it really that you have to lose, because you still creating whatever you want. And with this Uranus, I really feel that it's like breaking us open, either through sudden realization or external experiences that we are having, whether to do with other people or not, that is helping us to see the manifestation of this wounding, trauma, limiting beliefs, whatever it is. And now we have the opportunity to transmute it and transcend it and integrate it. So our entire approach towards life and one another is changing. And a lot of that is that hard consciousness coming online. So we perceive reality from this non-dualistic place of unconditional love, that actually us as a human collective are not that different from one another.
No. For sure. Yeah, Mars and Pluto are coming on a closing phase conjunction as well. So this says to me that we're going to be we're completing a cycle of defining our reality in a particular way, and literally breaking free out of that definition. And like you said, now we get to choose, what's for ourselves. What is it that we want? I think I was writing in my report that, this is the opportunity to like dive into the self, to think about what it is that we want to do. North Node energy. We can try many different things. Many of us probably don't even know what we want to do. We've just been forced to do things that we haven't been, turning us on, but we do it anyway because that's how we have been trained to keep our life going. But Uranus and Taurus is breaking that up. We need to figure out another way to get along. And I feel like the energy of stepping toward that North Node is giving us the opportunity to explore what it is that we want to do for our future. And that literally is lighting up this, Leo energy within ourselves. What is our true purpose? Why are we here? What are we doing? We've been, doing different things, but is that the purpose that we've come? If we've been feeling sad and depressed and, like there's something wrong, perhaps it's because we've been doing things in a way that haven't been purposeful for us, and I think that this Capricorn era that's coming to a close is kind of like shining the light on, okay, that's made me upset, that's not made me happy. Now we can begin to head towards joy. Let's figure out what that is and take steps toward that direction. And it's a trial and error thing when we're talking about Chiron and the North Node, because it's in Aries. We won't know.
Absolutely. And I mean, the week itself started with Moon in the sign of Virgo, which is all about trial and error, learning and adjusting without trying to judge ourselves and then stop ourselves in the tracks of going any further. And yeah, like you said, that we're learning to define what do we want, because with this Venus squaring the nodes and pointing to the South Node in Libra, we know what we don't want. It's mirrored to us very clearly in the external environment and in our own experience, where we feel suppressed because Venus is ruled by Saturn. The stories of the past that lost meaning that are keeping us suppressed. And that's also with the Jupiter Uranus now coming closer and closer to their conjunction. And Chiron and North Node are literally going to have conjunction 1 week later, like on 19th, February 19th. And this is going
to they're getting close, aren't they?
Yeah, they're going to start a brand new cycle, which, as we were talking about last time, like how bad does it have to get in the external world for people to start feeling that, oh, you know what, the unknown sounds better. The unknown sounds better, because most of the time it's this desire for change, but fear of the unknown, right? It's like it's happening simultaneously, but now the cycle is closing between the North Node and Chiron is the collective wounding, and it's ruled by Mars, and Mars is closing to Pluto. It say that, well, how long do we want to keep perpetuating and manifesting the same suffering of restriction of the reality that's been defined by someone else?
Yeah. It's interesting, I was talking about the North Node in Chiron, and this lunation is sextile close enough to this new moon, and it's saying it's showing what I was essentially saying, that this breaking free of this self and heading toward what our joy is, it's helping this North Node Chiron to head toward, this new beginning of self-discovery, that we're going to need to discover what that Leo is for us.
Yeah, because the new moon is trining the South Node, which is supporting us in resolving the past, of letting go of that. And Venus is squaring it. So Venus, everything that we've learned by Venus closing the cycle between all of the other planets, being the last one in at all for now anyway, she's helping us to understand what it is that now has been manifested. So we've gone through all these other signs prior, and during the Sagittarius, she identified the truth, and now she manifested it, because Sagittarius is what we believe, and what we believe then manifest, because Capricorn gives it the form, and now she's squaring the nodes, pointing to the South Node, and both South Node and Uranus are being ruled by Venus and Uranus squaring this new moon, it's saying what needs to change? What needs to change? Because where do we feel we cannot be free to be ourselves, to be happy? Because with
Yes,
the Leo and Aries, it's a very childlike energy. The Aries is the baby, the toddler that is trying to discover world for the first time. And the Leo is the teenager that is trying to figure out what is my purpose, which college should I go to, how should I spend the rest of my life, you know? So it's like going back to drawing board in a sense. That okay,
yes,
all this conditioning, trauma, wounding, all that is been healed and removed. Who are you?
exactly. And that South Node is also in conjunct to the Uranus, so it's presenting a blind spot. We may not understand that breaking the patterns of the way that we are living are linked to how we've related outside of ourselves. Yeah, and causes crisis, you know, if we change those patterns, then and we also begin to include ourselves in the mix, then we'll begin to achieve balance between what's inside and what's outside. And I think this is the Venus that's squaring the nodes here.
Yeah, and it's also Venus being the ruler of Jupiter and Jupiter having sextile with Saturn and Saturn being the ruler of Venus and Mars.
Right.
It's also giving us the opportunity to see what is that that belief system, that truth, that story. Just like you said, you know, like what is it that now potentially doesn't hold a meaning or does? What is that does or doesn't have a value? And I feel that it all goes back to you as Taurus, you know, because whatever you believe in yourself and whatever you feel that you are free to do or not to do, it's your choice because Venus is in Capricorn. So, you know, you are the creator. So
Yeah,
I feel that for majority of the people, the main blockage is the lack of trust in themselves and the sense of unworthiness that I cannot have what I want because for a million reasons, whatever they are. So I feel that really is that. And with the
yes.
Chiron as the key, being in a closing phase to North Node, is saying, well, the time is kind of running out. The time is running out because we're going in this new direction, ready or not. And Mars is
Yeah.
just about to conjunct Pluto, like a few days later on the 13th, 14th, on the Valentine's Day.
Yeah.
So, yeah, this is the
But
thing.
I think you're right with this, definitely learning to value ourselves, discovering what our self-worth is, and remembering that even, you know, as time goes on, you just have to, we were saying earlier before we started recording that, you know, just to remind ourselves is a
Mhm,
blessing. Every time something pops up, just remind yourself, I have self-worth.
mhm, mhm.
You know, even if you don't believe it, just keep saying it to yourself. Eventually, it will shine up. It's like the fake it till you make it.
Right. Yes, 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 because that's the Virgo energy, this energy of a self growth towards self mastery, but not through the judgment and criticism, but through acknowledgement of your hero's journey and how far you have gone and how much you had learned and how everything you've ever experienced served a purpose because it taught you something. If like
Yes,
just from the experience we shared between ourselves privately, if it taught you nothing else, it taught you that okay, this is what I don't want, or I can trust myself because maybe I knew and I didn't trust myself and I did it and I, you know, bought whatever I bought or I did whatever I did and then it just proved me that I was right. I should have trusted myself, but if you wouldn't have had that experience, you wouldn't have known. So that's why there is no such a thing as wrong choice because
no,
even if it doesn't take you directly where you're hoping to go, it will take you there indirectly, and it might even take you somewhere completely different, and you might find out it's something better, right? But
exactly.
there are no mistakes. This is what I try to help
There,
people understand. There are no mistakes, even though from our logical ego mind, from our brain, things might seem like this should not be happening. It's a mistake. It's wrong. There are no mistakes. Universe make no mistakes. Nothing is ever wasted. Nothing is ever at random because
yep,
everything holds a meaning of and purpose. And even though
yes,
people might get triggered by that, what might be the meaning and purpose of bad things happening in the world? Well, to help us see that this is not who we are anymore, that we don't resonate with this, and this is something that needs to be, you know, healed and transmuted, so it doesn't need to be happening again. So
Yes.
nothing is ever wasted, and if we don't perceive the opportunity for learning in that experience, then it's going to be recreated again because we potentially miss the chance to go to the next level.
Yes, and I think that this is the Mercury in Uranus, is to let go of those thought patterns and literally come from the heart. Just be guided by what's coming through you. You can't really think your way through this, because I mean, you can't make a mistake. But I think that if you are guided by your heart, you will find that the direction is more correct or more in alignment with what your purpose is than if you, I mean, you could do it either way. The mistake, or if it didn't lead you in that way and now you know that's not the way, you try another way. But if you follow the heart, I think that you'll have a more direct line to what you're trying to get to.
You might get there faster.
You're gonna get there faster. Yeah.
You might get there by the Aquarius fashion. You just quantum leap.
I mean, exactly. Exactly.
So that's the thing also with the Mercury now on the opposite side of Pluto, like being in the new phase conjunction with Pluto. It's saying, just like we were talking about last time, about this ability to perceive world from a new lens, this multidimensional lens, this lens that goes beyond just what you can see in the tangible form, because we're going beyond that. We're moving away from this way that we've been living life until this point, like, you know, you finish your college, you get a job, you get a mortgage, you get a loan, you get all these things, and you work 50 years in order to pay off your house, which then you cannot take with you, and most of the time even enjoy fully because you might be too sick to do that. We are going to remove all of this. It's not going to be this density of time that things have to take million years for us to get somewhere, and then it might not even be what we thought it would be because it took too long to get there, and then everything changed in the meanwhile, where I feel we are really entering the time with this Mercury in Aquarius and Uranus moving into Gemini in the upcoming 2 years, where these things are going to completely change. How we identify, perceive, and experience reality will be very different from the Capricornian way, even though we still need to be able to ground the energy in the body, because the heart is still the bridge between your physical self and your higher self. But I feel that we're going to be integrating more and more of the higher self, of the multidimensionality of who we are, which will then allow for a brand new experience in a human body.
Yes, I think so too. I think, in fact, that this Aquarian journey is about integrating the higher self and integrating it right through the heart. And that's how we're grounding it, right through our heart chakra. And, you know, we need some of that going on here these days. A little more heart chakra.
Which is why the Uranus is going to take action, you know,
Yeah,
because,
I mean,
it's through the challenges that we open the heart, right? Where we become more compassionate and loving. It's never through the easy times. It's usually through the challenging times where we really reevaluate what really matters, what is really important, and what we are to one another. Because you can have all the money in the world on your deserted island, but how are you going to survive eating the money?
Yeah, I think it's during times of like challenges, you know, Uranus type situations where people literally come together and help each other.
And this is also where people really where people learn about what everything they're capable of, you know, where people have to, when people have to be creative, and then suddenly they, oh yeah, I was able to do this, okay, let me try. You know, like things that we even forgotten and we dismiss, that this is not important, this is not useful, because we live in a time and age where we are being told that certain different qualities are being identified as desirable or something. But then in this crisis situation, or in a situation that are unexpected and shocking, people discover aspects of themselves that they even forgotten they were there, that are really valuable, and help them to create something that is helping us to get our needs met.
Yeah. And then, you know, as we step through the doorway of meeting our needs and going toward the direction of where we find our purpose, the universe lines up and brings those things toward you, brings you people that you need, that will help you, that it just everything lines up and falls into place, is what has been my experience. Whereas if you're resisting those things, it's a struggle. It's a struggle to
That's literally the difference between the Capricornian way and the Aquarian way. The
I
Aquarian
mean, yeah,
yeah, it's all about the vibration and frequency and alignment, and then things just start, synchronicities, all these things that you don't have to work hard or wait a long time for them to just manifest, rather than trying to figure it all out and do it the old way, the way we were being told that this is how it is. You know, if you want to buy a house, you need to pay it off for 50 years. Right.
right.
So yeah, you know, I feel that we're really entering into the brand new era, which is obviously new moon, so we don't know what exactly that's gonna look like or
Yeah,
feel like, but this is definitely the new moon that's seeding that, with the
yeah,
Pluto on 0 degrees of Aquarius, of the new moon in Aquarius, ruled by Uranus squaring it. This is it. This is the
this is
seeding
it.
of the Aquarian age.
Yeah, so exciting to me.
Right.
29-degree Capricorn sun, I'm ready.
You ready for the 0 degrees of Aquarius?
All of it. Let's just go.
Yeah, like I feel that many people who, like yourself, like old souls that were born for these times, they're like, oh, thanks God. I thought I missed it. Finally
Right.
coming. Finally coming. So yeah, it's
Yeah.
definitely coming this year, and we will have much more clarity and much more understanding by August, because between now and then we'll have the 2 full moons in Capricorn.
Yeah. So there's three more lunations in Capricorn this year.
Yeah, the 2 full moons in summer, and we will close the year with the new moon in Capricorn number 2.
That's right. Crazy.
So yeah, so the full moon in Aquarius in the middle of August, we'll understand. We'll know what we're dealing with.
Yeah. Yep. For sure. So I don't, there weren't a whole lot of new alignments for this lunation, but to me, it was just very clear we're ready to start this new energy and head towards that heart. What's coming through for you from the inside, from working from the inside out right now? You know, where the last 2 planets are leaving Capricorn. We're coming from a completely different place, from the place of individuation, which means it comes from within inside us. Nobody's going to tell us what to do. I mean, we can still try to follow, you know, the old ways, but that's, you know, in its dissolving phase. I think Pluto's got one more little, very short stay in Capricorn, and then we're done. But we'll have, you know, 9 months of practice of this individuation. I mean, and it's new, so we're gonna have to try it out, you know, and when we try out new things, we'll fall down sometimes and pick ourselves back up, but I think that one of the key things is literally to value yourself, take care of yourself, nurture yourself, and do things that make your heart happy. Because if you're happy on the inside, then you'll vibrate that on the outside into your relationships and into the world. And I think that's the best thing that we can do as individuals to help this world, is to make ourselves happy so that that vibrates outward. You know, we can't really control the outside world.
Exactly. Because I
Only
know
through,
that a lot of people struggle with the sense of guilt and shame because there is suffering in the world, and um, that we should not be happy, right? We should not be happy. But I always say, well, how are you helping anyone by being miserable yourself? Then it's not really helping to raise the vibration, is it? So, and I feel that this is also to do with the obviously Venus closing to Mars, and both closing to Pluto, which is the totality of understanding of the Capricorn age, but it's the Pisces essence, and making a sextile to Neptune. Both of them are making sextile to Neptune, and both of them are ruled by Saturn in Pisces, ruled by Neptune. So I think that by this point in our lives, in our human collective evolution, we have the totality of understanding of what this represents, what this feels like, what this was like as an experience to live life this way, the way that we see now manifested in the world. Capricorn is all manifested, the way we live, the way we love, the way we thought, the way we believed, it's all out there, it's all manifested. And now with this rule of the South Node and rule of the North Node closing to Pluto and closing to the new moon, and being ruled by Saturn and sextile in Neptune, there is a lot of indication that, well, this is ending now because it lost meaning. This way is not in alignment with the Aquarius age, which is
yeah,
why it needs to end. It needs to end because it's time. It's like, even though we have a free will as a human, divine soul incarnate, but the evolution is going ahead. The evolution is going ahead. So
oh
it's like,
yeah.
okay, you had 2000 years plus of this experience. It's time to progress.
Yeah,
So this is the gentle invitation. I don't know, because Uranus is involved, so expect the unexpected, but either way it's saying this is the seeding of the energy that's coming.
yeah,
So we're just letting you know, this is the forewarning that the energy is coming, and this is the energy because we have the totality of understanding of the old energy.
yes. Well, I wasn't going to do it, but it made me think about my recent Uranian experience where it just, I was in a car accident last week, and it was scary and kind of horrific. I wasn't harmed at all. Nobody was harmed, but I mean, very easily could have been. My car was totaled, and but it definitely moved my heart to a different place. And this is the kind of energy that I see this Uranus and this Pluto in Aquarius being like, shocking things may happen. And, God willing, we'll make it through those shocking things, but they're happening for a particular reason, to
Mhm.
help us to shift. Sometimes we need to break free from the old patterns, and if we can't do it for ourselves, the universe or our higher selves, the higher self of the collective is going to come down and move us forward. Like you were saying, we're not going to, it's time now. There's no more waiting. We've been doing this for thousands of years. Now it's time to move along. And so, we just have to be open. And this goes back to the heart. The heart is
Mhm.
what needs to be opened.
Yeah.
So my experience was definitely heart opening. Just learning about, living life through experiencing death, or however that goes. I was like, whoa, okay, I'm ready to live life in a different way. And really through just opening the heart and being open to whatever happens.
Yeah, because you see, like, majority people, I hope, are aware how easy it is to die. It is so easy, like human body is very strong, but
Yeah.
it's very easy to be taken out of this human realm, like, not to obviously trigger people and stuff, but if we actually understand that we're here on a borrowed time, and now nobody knows how much that time is,
No,
nobody has a set time, like, yeah, you're gonna live up to 99 or something, nobody
no.
knows the day. Like, the higher self knows, and I know from the people I follow and the channeling that I've been privy to, there are multiple exit points throughout each life that we can decide that, okay, this is the time. You just missed one. You decided, you and your higher self decided that this is not the time. You still have a work to do, go back. But
Yeah,
it just shows us how precious this life really is and how
yeah,
much more there is to enjoy. Now, the problem is the Jupiter in Taurus, that we fixated to this old story, this story of suffering, that we don't deserve better, we are this inferior, non-deserving, unworthy being, especially by the, most of the time religion conditioning, making us feel small and all this. So we feel that we deserve suffering. And that's why we keep attracting and recreating more suffering. And now it's getting to the point where the universe is saying with this Uranus square that it's enough of the suffering. Okay, let's just liberate now and try to live a little bit different life where we go beyond. We go beyond.
yes,
So experiences like the ones that you've had, which, like you said yourself, now I know exactly what is my purpose. I have no doubt.
yeah,
Through the heart, you get to understand your purpose because it's all the same archetype. And I feel in
yes,
one way or another, all of us will be experiencing this year. It doesn't have to be through near-death experience or something tragic. It could be just an aha moment, whatever that is.
yes.
Something Uranian, something is going to come to everybody's consciousness this year. And that's why I call it the year of a choice, even though it is the year of number 8, which is not nothing to do with Gemini or even, I don't know. I still, even though the 8 is connected to strength card and is connected to Saturn and Jupiter, I can see the magician and the infinity sign
Ah,
over his head. I don't know why. This is like, I have no rational
mm,
explanation for that, but
mm.
I still feel this is the year of the choice. Perhaps it is with the Jupiter moving into Gemini at the late May, right after the full moon in Sagittarius, by the way, which, as you remember, in December, we are talking about seeding the new storyline for this year, and that's happening. The illumination of that is happening in late May, just before Jupiter moves into Gemini. But this is
Yes,
what I really feel. This year, everybody will be given the opportunity to make a choice. Everyone alive on this planet will be given, or people who will choose not to remain on this planet. Everybody will be given a choice on a soul level, and the choice will be presented, I feel, through some Uranian quality, some unexpected occurrence. Like I said, doesn't have to be shocking thing. It will be just something sudden, unexpected, out of the blue, and we will have the aha moment and make a choice. Like you could have made a choice if things would have been different in in your soul contract, that okay, yeah, I had enough. I don't want to be present for this comedy show that's gonna be
yeah,
happening on this planet. I had enough. I accomplished what I wanted to do. You made a different choice, which is why situation happened the way it did, where uh, like the way the things played out from what you described to me and how they actually ended was a pure miracle. I
yeah.
mean, if
It
any
was,
of these things were removed out of the equation, you wouldn't be here to tell the story, which
yeah,
to me says that obviously this was just, the gentle reminder saying life is precious. We have a purpose.
life
Let's
is
enjoy
precious.
life. Let's enjoy it. Let's let go of this old story of suffering in order to survive.
Yeah,
We're not living a survival game anymore. We came here to be Aquarian.
yeah. And then have that nice link with our higher selves. That would be nice. I mean, I feel like I had the link with my higher self through that accident. And yeah, it leads me toward living life with an open heart, no matter what. I mean, life happens so fast. And this year is going to be really fast
Not
that,
just this year, from now onwards.
yeah, I mean, it's so fast that I mean, is there time to be all, sad and miserable? I mean, we it's time to come from the heart, open the heart, be as kind and open as you can to, you know, our fellow humans, and do what we can to help this world evolve. And that's what I came to.
Absolutely, but within that scale, Mars is still in Capricorn, so we have to remember the boundaries, because
We do.
sometimes, just like with the children, if they want to go and jump out of the window, they think it's a good idea, and you as a Capricorn, oh, well, this is not such a good idea. Let's just keep you safe and protected. So I feel that at the same time as having an open heart, And, you know, we can understand why people are acting from the place of wounding they are acting to, but it doesn't mean that it's acceptable, which is where, you know, this year also we will be given presented with the opportunity to say no to things that are unacceptable, whatever that will look like. I mean, I don't know, but there will be an opportunity to observe situations and make the new choice under all circumstances, of course, with this South Node in Libra. But not everything is acceptable, and that the boundary that is created still comes from a place of heart.
Yes. Yes. And, you know, the self-worth and the creating boundaries around our self-worth is also really very important. And I think that's what's kind of being incorporated to what we're moving into. Because we do have to be in some way self-sustaining as we're losing the input from the outside world. We have to have our internal boundaries in place to be able to move forward. I mean, yeah, you can't just be all willy-nilly.
Yeah, it's the entire Capricornian flavor to the 2024, you know, the year 8. It's about this having the strength and the resiliency to define what it is that
Yes.
matters to you, what you want to manifest, what you know, want to let go of, dissolve, you know, Master Saturn being in Pisces, and also that which you want to manifest, what is the boundary around, you know, this protection that you want to put around it, you know, like, for example, to give a tangible example so people not confused about what I'm saying, it's where you put in your energy. You decide, oh, I want to manifest better life for myself, and then I'm gonna like binge on news. Well, that's not really going to help you to create a different life, is it? Because they're just telling you about what already happened, and most of it is not what we want to keep recreating. So this is what I mean. When you are clear, and I mean, obviously, we don't have to know all the details. Let's not get lost in Virgo and all the perfectionist stuff. But when we are clear about from the place of heart, this would feel good to me to have this experience. I might not know all the details. Then we need to put the energy in the place that is in alignment with that vision. So this is where we put the boundaries. I am no longer willing to leak my energy or waste my time on things, people, and circumstances that are not in alignment with that energy. And
Exactly.
this is the Capricorn. This is the boundary. Like, you know, this is what I'm trying to explain, that all these archetypes, they cover everything in our reality. So Capricorn is not just this government and strict father. It's, you know, it's a lot of different things. So all these things are covered by all these archetypes. So we are learning to see things multidimensionally and use the totality of what they have to offer to us, these archetypes.
Yeah. Yes. I mean, I think that's definitely part of this Pluto in Aquarius, is learning to see the multidimensionality of life. I mean, it's going to manifest itself for us here in the next 20 years. So,
well, and how it's going to manifest depends what you see in this new moon
well,
in
it does
Aquarius.
depend on what you're seeding. And I mean, you know, different timelines are going to open up. Which timeline are you going to choose, you know?
And what it will feel like. This is where the heart is coming online. What it will feel like. What do you want to feel like going into the, you know, future timeline? What do you want to feel like in this future timeline? You want to feel happy, you want to feel joyous, you want to feel empowered, and do something that helps you to create that feeling. So then, you know, when we create it, then it will be easier to attract more of it and recreate it. So that's why, you know, they always say with the manifestation, you need to focus on the feeling. So if you want to feel in love, find something that makes you feel in love, whatever it is, even love towards your puppy, right? Your new puppy.
Yeah.
So whatever it is that you want to manifest in reality, find something that you can easily access that gives you the sense of love. Even if it's just listening to a song that makes you feel nostalgic or whatever it is. But this is what I mean. We have to become very conscious where we focus in our energy on, because this is what manifests our thoughts, beliefs, and feelings that we put into that manifest. So now is the time to really start thinking about reality from this new perspective, which is Aquarian. Frequency, vibration, energy, manifestation, quantum physics, all these kind of things. You know, there doesn't have to be a big separation between now and that what you want to manifest. You just need to, if you can visualize it, it already exists. It already, if it's even in your own mind, it already exists. So it's just a matter of meeting that frequency, just like we were talking the other
Yes,
day about the radio station. You need to tune yourself to the right
right.
radio station.
Yes. We just have to adjust our frequency, which is what leads me back to, self-care, good exercise, fresh water, a cleanse perhaps, whatever you can do to, shift your frequency, will only help you align to what it is that you're trying to manifest for yourself. But like you said, you don't want to keep watching the news.
Well, I mean, if it makes you feel happy and elevated, or like,
I
I mean,
can't imagine,
it
but
depends
okay.
on what people want to create, like who am I to judge other people's choices? If
I
they want
mean,
to
that's
keep
true.
feeling
That is
scared,
true.
then
I stopped watching the news. I mean, I get a little bit here and there, but I don't sit and watch the news. I used to. Oh my goodness, all the time.
and that's the thing, how does it make you feel afterwards? Do you feel happy? If you feel angry and frustrated and hopeless and despaired and depressed, then do I
Yep,
want to keep feeling this way? And it's again,
that's
like where people think, well, this is what my dad says because he's obsessed with news. He binges on it every day. He said, I need to be informed. Informed by
yes.
what? The stories? Like, I mean, what out of these stories is actually the truth? Well, what you choose to adopt as your story,
Yeah,
because stories are mutable. So,
yeah,
with the Jupiter being in Taurus, it's telling you that, well, you decide what is your story. It's Taurus. What you attach to.
yeah. I mean, that's actually what happened. I was listening to a news story and it made me so angry. And I was angry for days. And I thought, I don't want to be living my life angry. I didn't even really believe the story, which is probably what helped me to be angry. And I just said, no, I'm not going to let the news do that to me anymore. So I stopped.
So yeah, so it's like literally up to everybody's Capricorn, their authority, inner authority, and their own discernment to help them to make whatever choices are in alignment with what they want to manifest.
Yeah,
It's as simple as that, really.
yeah. But I think that leads to this new phase with Mercury and Pluto, this aligning our minds and thoughts with different vibrations, beginning to think with our higher minds, or at least connect with a higher vibration in our thought processes. And that helps to raise our vibration.
Yes, because I even say that, if something happened to you a long time ago, and now through the current experience, understanding, knowledge, information or belief system, you look at the opposite situation, it can completely change.
Yeah.
Like this is where I feel that we are stepping into our multidimensionality, especially, multidimensional way of thinking with Mercury currently in Aquarius, which is all about being able to understand the current human reality we are experiencing and having the experience, but at the same time to calculate the higher meaning to this, and why would my soul choose that experience. This is the first thing that our teacher taught us before we even started reading charts, which was, why would my soul choose displacements? Why would my soul choose Scorpio, Pluto, or whatever? Why would my soul
Yes.
do that? So I
Right.
feel that this is literally where we starting to um, perhaps perceive reality in this way, which is not about the tangible, what is already a record of the past, because it's a manifestation of something that we already thought prior, but it's also this, what is the meaning of this? So we don't have to copy paste it into our future, but we can just learn from this manifestation and then let it go if it doesn't work for us anymore.
Exactly. Exactly.
This I feel is the ultimate freedom. How you identify reality is the ultimate freedom.
Yeah. It really is. And don't let anybody else define it for you.
Well, this is the Jupiter in Taurus, ruled by Venus, square in the nodes, pointing to the south node in Libra.
Yeah,
This is literally what it is.
that's exactly what it is. So we are learning to define the reality for ourselves.
But in order to do that, you need to trust yourself.
Oh, you have to trust yourself. Absolutely. Yep. And to do that, you have to see the inherent value that you have in yourself. Just for the fact that you're here on this earth plane means you have value.
Right? Because universe makes no mistake. Why would you be here? Why would you incarnate if there was no meaning and purpose to that? That wouldn't
Yeah.
make sense, would it?
Yeah. It's true.
So yeah, so I think it's time for us to start seeing ourselves very differently.
Yeah, I think so.
Yeah, and I mean Venus is still trying in Uranus.
Yes. Yeah, for a bit more.
Yeah, both Venus and Mars. Mars is still just about.
Yeah.
So this is definitely supporting us. There's the ruler of the South Node and ruler of the North Node, trine positive aspect, a ruler of the Moon and ruler of the Pluto. So I mean, this is good, right? So
Yeah.
however this is showing up, again, once again, the planets are saying it's really supporting you, even though it might not feel like that, but that depends on what story you plaster onto it or how you identify it. But from the evolutionary perspective, it is taking us where we need to go.
Absolutely. Yes. Which is exciting. It's the season of change.
Yeah, and we're going to be experiencing the spring equinox next month.
Wow, I know it.
Very
Next month
quick.
in April.
Yeah, and next month we also start in the eclipse season, so it's going to be here before you know it. It's all these things are happening
It's
very quickly.
it's already moving fast. It is already moving fast.
It's literally like, when we have something challenging ahead of us, like an exam or something, and we feel like, oh, I wish it was already behind us. So, like bring it on, bring it on closer. And that's what I feel is happening. Like, yeah, it's coming fast, so we can be on the other side of it quickly.
But it won't be too fast. We'll have enough time to do what we need to do as it comes. We will, you know,
Yeah, I mean, Uranus is still in Taurus,
yeah,
still grounded.
still grounded.
Cool. Anything else that you think we should mention?
No, I'm satisfied.
You feel
I
complete?
feel like it's a good time. Uh, yeah, I'm very satisfied. Coming from the heart and raising our vibration. Those are the messages that I have for this lunation. Aligning it's a new direction, it's a new cycle of this for us. So it should be good.
Yeah, it's like an invitation to freedom. Like literally, like you just got the invitation to set yourself free.
Really is. It really is. And it's not, I don't think it's gonna be easy. We still have all the conditioning that we have, but there's there's a there's an amount of trust that you have to have in yourself. There's an amount of trust that you have in the universe. And if you can just believe, you know, stepping into that belief system that helps you to manifest and helps you to trust in yourself. Um, and then come from your heart. Like you were saying, we can't let go of the boundaries that protect us, but we can open our hearts and really start acting from that sense that comes from within instead of what's happening here in the mind, because the mind is going to lead us astray. The higher mind and the heart are connected.
Oh, absolutely. And actually, when you do have healthy boundaries, that's what allows you to open your heart, because you don't feel scared to protect it. So when you know where there is a boundary, and you trust that you are the one that places it there, and you can always move it one way or another, that actually gives us the sense that, okay, yeah, within this boundary, I'm fine. I can open myself up to life and to experience. And yeah, with regards to what you said, like it's not gonna be easy. Well, I don't think so, because we literally have a complete transformation of the system that has been in place for a very long time and
Yes.
kept us feeling safe and protected to a certain extent, even though it might not allow us to be completely free. And if we don't do this, if we don't break free, then we're just going to become completely enslaved. So in a sense, we don't have a choice. We don't have a choice, because if the power is being given to someone else, that someone else is gonna do what they feel is the best for them. They're not gonna do what's best for you, especially if it's not coming from a heart. So from this perspective, uh, is it gonna be easy? No. But is it gonna be worth it? Yes. And this is like for many people who might think, well, I'm doing this for my children. Well, but what are we offering them? Because this is something that I actually questioned in my own videos, where I said that people say that I'm going to sacrifice so my child can have a better life. How can a frequency of sacrifice can create something other than a sacrifice? So if we want our children to have better life, we need to show them how. So we need to embody the qualities that we want them to learn to embody themselves. So this is why we need to make a change. Because if we don't make it, our children and the future generation will not have a better life. They will have the same life or worse life. So this is why it's time for change. And it's going to be worth it one way or another. And it's going to happen one way or another, because the universe is saying it's time.
Yes. Awesome.
So this is the message of the new moon in Capricorn, new moon in Aquarius.
Yeah.
There we go, with Capricorn undertone, because this whole year is about
Capricorn
Capricorn.
undertone.
Right. All right. Well, where can people find you, Adrienne? Tell us all.
Here, let me take that down. You can find me on my Facebook page at Jess Kieran Astrology. You can also find me on Substack. I put a new moon report, a new and full moon report out every 2 weeks there, under Jess Kieran Astrology as well. Website's still not up yet, but I have a meeting this week with my website designer, so hopefully in the next couple of weeks, I should be up and running.
Excellent. And for me, you can find me on all my social media and my website at moonlightsoul369 or moonlightsoul.369.com. And thank you for listening. If you're still with us, we hope you find the value. Thank you, Adrienne, for joining me.
Thank you, Mila.
We'll see you again in 2 weeks.
All right.
Bye, everyone.